Alright guys, another update to the Elsweyr patch on the PTS. There have been some new changes and, well, we're going to get into them. We'll see what you guys think. So, let's start off with the first combat changes here. So the first thing that we see from the Necromancer class is no changes actually, just some fixes. So Necromancer is staying the same way that it was before. One fix I did want to note is that Spirit Mender was making people immune to stuns this past week on the PTS. That's pretty strong. But anyway, getting into the combat changes for this patch, guys. Starting off with Dragon Knight. The standard of might has been increased in duration to 16 seconds at all ranks. And now as the ability ranks up, it will increase in damage per rank. And the duration of the Dragon Knight standard will be increased further due to a fix on Searing Heat, allowing it to increase the duration of our standard as well. So standard is a pretty unpopular Dragon Knight ultimate, so I actually like this change. The increased duration, I think, is a great way to go because we have the shifting standard, which you can continue to move as long as you still have some duration left. So I really like this for DK. This is actually nice stuff for the Dragon Knight ultimate. Dragon Knight continuing to get those lovely buffs in the Elsweyr patch. Let's move on to something that has not gotten the buffs in this patch, but yeah, we'll see what you guys think about this. The Nightblade Assassination Incapacitating Strike Morph. It no longer applies the Minor Mangle or stuns when cast with 120 or more ultimate. Now, the Minor Mangle was a 10% maximum health decrease on your target, and of course, a stun is a stun. The Minor Mangle I actually liked in the previous Elsweyr patch because it still played into that burst damage that this ultimate kind of provides. But now they've changed it. It instead now silences the target for 3 seconds when cast at 120 or more ultimate. And then additionally, while slotted, it now grants Reeve, which restores up to 100 magicka and stamina when dealing damage with a light or a heavy attack on a target with a negative effect active on them. Okay, so the Reeve is not a big deal. I actually think this is an interesting approach to this ultimate, putting a little bit of sustain on the end of it. But this is kind of just not needed if you catch my drift. I feel like most of the time, at least in PvP, when you're dropping this ult, it's not because you want to get resource back, it's because you want to finish off your opponent. Now, the silence. This is not good. I PvP a lot. If you guys are new to my channel, or if you're here all the time, you'll know that I PvP a lot. Now, the only source of silence in the game right now is Negate. And Negate has the obvious counterplay of you being able to move out of it. If you are playing a Magicka build and you get hit by this ultimate and you get silenced for 3 seconds, you will not be able to cast any of your skills. You will not be able to cast any Magicka skill, and a majority of Magicka builds use all Magicka skills. So that is a massive deal. 3 seconds of silence is a death sentence. There are so many builds that will not survive being silenced by the in-cap just out of the fact that they have zero counterplay to this. There is no way for them to purge this silence. There is no way for them to make the duration shorter. They have to wait 3 seconds and be completely unable to cast. So if you guys have PvP'd, you know how big a deal it is to have a negate dropped on you, and how just 1 second of not being able to cast a Magicka skill can potentially be a death in PvP. 3 seconds with zero counterplay, I mean, you know, there have been some bad changes this patch, but ZeniMax they're just one-upping it. This is the worst change I have seen for an ability in this game in years. This is really bad. This is absolutely terrible, and the reason why is because it has zero counterplay, and that is such a huge deal. You need to have counterplay in this game. It is so important that everything has a counter to it in order for this game to have a semblance of balance. This is awful. This is just an awful change. I have no idea why they would do this. Reading their comment here, they wanted Nightblade to retain this ability to continue to push their opponent closer to death after they use the ultimate. What is this silence? This is not continuing to push you closer to death. This is a death sentence for a Magicka build. So yeah, I've said my piece. This is a terrible change. I would love to hear what you guys think. Do you think it's bad too? Do you think it's a good change? I just want to hear your guys' opinions on this change. So moving on, Dark Cloak has been fixed, so the minor protection is now multiplicative instead of additive, so that was kind of expected, just a bug fix if anything else. And now the ability will heal you for 6% of your max health per tick rather than 4.5. I like this. I feel like the Dark Cloak nerf was a little bit too harsh earlier, and this kind of brings it back in line, so I like this change here. And then we just got some more basic fixes for some dual wield and some medium armor stuff. And then finally, Psijic Order has also been changed, so the snare immunity granted is only 1 second, down from 4, up to a maximum of 2 seconds when you fully rank up the ability. So I know people are going to be on the fence about this one, but I have to say, the mobility that this provides is really strong already. The 4 seconds of snare immunity, there are no skills in the game that give you that much snare immunity, especially Shuffle having lower snare immunity, even the Dragonite Wings having 2 seconds of snare immunity. I think this is a good change, to be honest. I think 4 seconds was a bit much. 2 seconds is going to be just fine. The most important thing is that it, of course, removes those negative effects and then gives you a bit of duration just to move out of the spot. Yeah, but I have to agree that this was probably the right change in the interest of balancing all forms of snare immunity. So I like this change here. So there you go, guys. That is all of the combat changes that we have for this patch. They're mostly just fixes everywhere else, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this upcoming Nightblade change. Please tell me what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I create regular ESO content. We've got builds, PvP commentaries, community featured content, all kinds of good stuff. So be sure to stick around for more ESO content. And then if you guys are interested in sending any of your own clips in or sending in a build to be featured on the channel, you guys can send that in to KristoferESO@hotmail.com. More information, of course, is in the description of the video below. And if you guys are interested in some live gameplay from me, or if you guys just want to come chat, you can, of course, check out my Twitch in the description below. And finally, guys, we are sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They give me better ping to my favorite games like ESO, and they're free to try for the first 14 days. No card to sign up, nothing. So if it doesn't help you guys out, no harm, no foul. So thank you guys so much for watching. Yet again, I would love to hear your input on this change, and I'll see you guys next time.